Hey, so before we get started on this, I did want to make an apology about some things I have said in the past. Some things that definitely should not have been said. They were very hurtful, and I would like to apologize to Gouache Paint for always hating on them, because if you damn well think that I'm apologizing for anything I've said besides my opinion on art supplies, you're absolutely wrong. So with the official start of MerMay, which is really nice that May is starting on a Thursday, that's my upload day, so I'm starting off MerMay strong, and I'm going to be trying to use gouache more this month, because I'm not really comfortable with gouache. I've always hated it. I always hated it, but I always buy it because it's one of those things that I'm like, ooh, that's a good deal. Like, and then I get it, and then I'm like, why did I use this? You know? So at the start of MerMay, I was making my list back in like the middle of April about like what I can do for MerMay. And for some reason, I've been getting a lot of Steven Universe content, and I freaking love Steven Universe. Like, I have my whole Gem Soda, I have Gem OCs that I haven't drawn in years. I still love watching the show, I love the characters, and I've just been getting a lot of stuff about it. So I'm like, you know what, I think I'm gonna draw some Steven Universe fan art. And my first go-to was to draw the crystal gems, you know, Garnet, Amethyst, Pearl, and Steven as mermaids. And as I was thinking of the idea, I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. So it's like, okay, who is my all-time favorite character from Steven Universe? And this is probably going to piss a lot of people off. Pink Diamond is my favorite Steven Universe character. I adore the Pink Diamond storyline with Pink Diamond and Rose Quartz. She's just my absolute favorite. So, of course, I went with Pink Diamond. And I started the sketch because I got this inspiration from a random screenshot from The Little Mermaid that I'm not going to include because that idea was completely scrapped. I started it, I think I maybe got like the silhouette of the body done. Then I was like, I don't like this anymore. So I scrapped that, crumpled up the paper, threw it out, and then I just started over fresh with this new idea that actually stuck. So this idea stuck, and I loved the way it looked. I think it just looked so much better. It had more like storytelling, and the inspiration for this one, there was a scene in Steven Universe where it's like a flashback of like Pink Diamond getting the Earth colony, and her hand is reaching down to the planet, and when she taps it, it goes black with the little pink diamond on it. So that orb and her hand specifically gave me inspiration for this entire thing, but I wanted to make it more of like a pop into the rose quartzy side of Pink Diamond. Well, of course, turning it into a mermaid. This definitely could have been a piece on its own without the mermaid tail, but because it's MerMay, I wanted to take the world as if it was underwater, if that makes sense. I feel like I really just slapped a mermaid tail on this and called it a day, but you know what, it's fine, it's fine. So I wanted that pink orb to be like a representation of like what could have been, and coming up from the orb are the lone gems of Ruby, Sapphire, Amethyst, and Pearl. And the background is basically her room. I did find a picture of the Pink Diamond room on Homeworld, and I really love the way the towers came out, like the pillars. I think they look really nice, and I was really loving this sketch. Like this whole concept in this sketch, I was just so in love with it. And with this random urge to use gouache, one I have never had before, mostly comes from Instagram videos where people are painting. I love watching people paint on Instagram. It's just so relaxing. But whenever I see people using gouache, it's always so smooth, but also thick and opaque and not gloopy or streaky. It looks really nice. And whenever they're doing this work, they have such delicate brush control, and I thought, I want to try that, but I know that if I outline this with a pen, the gouache is just going to go right over the pen because it's opaque. So I just did an outline in pencil, which I don't think I've ever done before, a pencil outline first like that. I mean, I've left stuff without, but like that pencil outline was so thin. It looked really nice. So then I went through and started adding the paint in. Oh my god, I was scared. One of the brushes I have, it's like this, it's a long handle brush. It's the pink one I'm using for the majority of the actual painting portion itself. I think I fucked that brush up at some point because the tip of it goes on an arch, and it's not supposed to be like that. And that is 100% because I really don't take care of my brushes. I get most of them for dirt cheap or on clearance or as a gift, and I should be treating my brushes better. But hey, this little divot in the brush actually made really nice. It's almost like an angled detail brush while also being a one round brush. It worked out perfectly. I love the way it worked, and I was able to block in color and then put I went with the cell shading, so I was able to put that on top. But with the cell shading, especially with gouache, because it reactivates so fast, I did make my shading one shade darker than what I would normally have. So when I put it on top of the paint, that was the base layer, it picked up some of the base and it made the perfect match every time. I loved it to death. Mixing my gouache, I really only use like 4 or 5 colors. I think I use like a magenta, this one crimson hue, black, blue, and purple, and then white, and that's really it. I pulled out browns that I did not end up using, but I like the color scheme. I think it looks nice, and I just did my best to color match based on my reference photos. And I was just really happy with this because I really wanted to make something that I could be proud to say, hey, I painted Pink Diamond. Because like I said, she's my favorite Steven Universe character. And unfortunately, her story arc is backwards. Everybody will tell you this 10 times over. Theorists here and there and everywhere. Pink Diamond's story is backwards. Like, her redemption arc is backwards, but it doesn't make her a bad person, you know? Like, sure, she's made some bad choices, but she was doing it out of a need to speak up for herself and a need to protect and that kind of thing. Like, I want to explain it, but I'm going to be honest, I really am having a hard time explaining it. So just take it as it is. It's Pink Diamond. She looks cute, and I adore it. And this is a great start to the MerMay. The only thing that wasn't gouache on this was the metallic bits at the end with the gems, the tail, the pearl, and then like the bubbles in the background that are supposed to be the rest of the rose quartzes that the blue and yellow bubbled and all that. So that was fun. But what wasn't fun is I just finished this painting. I was admiring it. I propped it up. God, I'm gonna sound like such a fucking crybaby. Admiring this painting, being like, wow, I actually did a decent job. My artwork is coming out the way I like. And I started writing down the stuff for my script so I know what points I say script. It's just like a pinpoint or a bulletin of things I want to bring up in my voiceover so I don't forget it because my ADHD ass would. And as I'm writing, I'm just kind of like sitting there, and you know when you feel that it's like you need to look up because like your peripheral vision is telling you to look? Yeah, no, there was a wolf spider on my wall 3 feet from my face. It is 12:30 in the morning as this is happening. I can't move. This motherfucker isn't gonna move. I have never been so scared in my life. I am severely arachnophobic, and I'm just now getting over being like afraid of certain spiders, like the little corner cellar spiders that like hang out. Like the little ones that look like little daddy long legs, sure, whatever, they can sit in the corner rent free. The little dark brown house spiders that like you find in your basement, as long as they're no bigger than a dime, I can easily kill one of those. I was not ready for a wolf spider in the middle of the night on my goddamn wall. I had to call my sister, who's younger than me. She's 10 years younger than me. She wasn't answering, so I had to call my mom to go get my sister out of bed to come down here and kill this spider. I'm like, I was shaking, crying, begging her to hurry up because it was gonna get away. I was so scared. And bless my sister's heart, she took my brother's shoe and fucking smacked it and killed it, and then it fucking fell. It's dead, but now there's just a spider corpse behind my desk, and I'm sure it's gonna be fine. But I really love that this whole symbolism for rose quartz, like wanting to preserve life and preserve this planet and everything that's on it. And then immediately after finishing this painting, there's a giant wolf spider that just has to die because I hate spiders. I really do. So here's to the springtime. Sure, we're getting warmer, and next week's video is going to be outside because I'm off of work the day after recording this voiceover, and I'm going to have time to sit outside and paint, and I'm really excited for that. Unfortunately, I do need to use a pesticide to keep the spiders out of my house. It is pet friendly, don't worry, but I'm not dealing with spiders anymore. I cannot have another heart attack like that. But what doesn't suck is this painting. I'm very proud of my control with the paint. I'm very proud of my line control with the outlines because I ended up using a Art 101 brush pen, like a watercolor brush pen, to do the outlines because, yeah, you could still see the pencil lines, but I wanted them to be on the pinky side. So I just went over with this pink brush marker, and it looks so nice. I love it. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I'm coming out, like I said, I'm coming off of a panic attack from that spider, but I have to get this voiceover done, and I'm just going to leave it there. So thank you guys so much for watching. The links to my Etsy, where this might be a print also. I know I'm making a lot of prints, but I'm really liking my art recently, and I want people to share. So if you want this as a print, let me know down below, or tell me over on Instagram, or don't, and just buy it when I put it out because I'm the person that'll just make it anyway. And be sure to check out my Instagram, which is also down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week, hopefully 100% spider free. Bye.